All right, we're going. We're live. We're in the heat of things already.
We significantly increased the number of asylum officers.
Dude, his voice is just so cooked. He looks like Willem Dafoe doing a caricature of an old dying man. This is just so ridiculous. I had to go live. This is like the inverse of like the first Nixon v. Kennedy debate, where it was like if you saw the television, you were convinced that like Nixon lost because he looked like shit. If you hear the audio of this at all, Biden loses because he sounds like shit, but he also fucking looks like shit. He looks like a reanimated corpse. Dude, even Trump sounds like shit compared to his previous stuff. But compared to Joe, he's like fucking in the marching band. Dude, I don't know the lore. I don't know the lore, and I think they're also both just saying dumbass bullshit. This is a crazy title to put on a lower third.
Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous,
every state is now a border, dude.
Policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens.
I
call it Biden migrant crime.
That's not that catchy, Trump. You've lost your touch. Dude, he looks like shit. Does he not realize the camera's still on?
We have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq.
Come on, Trump, bring up the crack or whatever, so that way Biden will get defensive and get some dunk in. Please.
That's number one. And number two,
why is he not looking at him?
Embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. That when Putin
no, Joe, don't fucking turn your brain off again. Oh, you were giving good reactions. They're cutting their microphones, so it's harder to hear them. But Trump has a voice still. Joe doesn't. So he can't really interrupt Trump, but Trump can interrupt him.
This was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream.
You talked to him about it?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is...
He's just going for the malarkey defense now.
This guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want.
Oh, he's just
and that's exactly
fumbling
what Trump did. To Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want.
It just takes so much effort to have to understand Biden. So the thing is that Biden, you need to be familiar with the political situation of what he's talking about, and you need to be able to understand how Yoda speaks to be able to comprehend his words and get his points. More so the first one than the second, to be clear. He's trying to say that Trump told Putin that you could do whatever you wanted. But he didn't say that. He kept stumbling on his words, and if you pay more attention to just his words, it sounded like Putin told Trump you can do what you want.
In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people.
Bro, we don't need to be talking about this. Both of you want to commit a genocide. Both of you can handshake about committing the genocide.
We're still pushing hard to get them to accept it.
Hamas has accepted it. Fuck me. Dude, you're doing so much more than necessary.
Greatly weakened.
It would be so much cooler if he was like, from a centrist point of view, if he was just like, okay, we are giving Israel a ton of funding. We are helping them out. We gave them the settlement ceasefire plan, whatever. And I am done early. No, he had to keep yapping and talk about how they're fucking trying to root out Hamas by blowing up a fucking entire population. Biden, focus. Good reaction. Now you just need to be doing that every fucking moment.
And Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job.
Fuck me!
He doesn't become like a Palestinian.
This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. You're going to stay in NATO? He's going to pull out of NATO.
That'd be crazy if he pulls out of NATO. If fucking Trump comes around to being more pro two-state solution than Biden,
and the only reason
I give up.
He can play games.
Truly.
NATO. I'm not going to support NATO. If you
so why are we still fucking talking about NATO? It would have been interesting if Trump answered this question more fully.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day,
this will be interesting. Does anyone care anymore? I feel like everyone's already made a decision.
On January 6th, we had a great border. On January 6th,
he's avoiding it. He's being smart. This is smart for him to not fucking take too much of a stance on January 6th. Okay, so if it was Biden, you just then You ask him a question. Okay, so do you disavow what happened? Do you condemn what happened? And then end. You don't say anything more. You don't expand. You don't defend. You directly throw it back on him.
He went to every single court in the nation.
This should be so easy. I would have rather had Kamala, dude. She's so unlikable, but she could at least fucking string together a sentence properly.
Turn them over statues. The idea that those people are patriots? Come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had...
Don't engage in this, Joe. You're only isolating more leftists. God, you're gonna lose. You're just gonna lose.
You denounce the people we're talking. You denounce the people who attacked that Capitol. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have.
No, Jake Tapper, let him respond.
34 felonies last month. Fuck!
Shit. Biden would have given him the fucking time to respond.
But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon.
Come on, Biden, get fired up, get fired up. Get pissed off. Be a family man. You at least close your mouth if you're gonna fucking be standing there.
The idea
that
I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie.
Good.
One. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong.
Good.
It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before.
Good.
No president in our history has spoken like that before.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two.
Legally, you did. Dude, send it back to... God, he's just so old and decrepit. It would be great if they fucking sent it back over to Biden, and Biden's like, all right, whatever you say, man. The law is not on your side, but you say what you want to. Jake Tapper, what's your question? That would be so beast. The minimum age for president is like 35. 35!
And so the fact that, could you ever think you heard any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Did you ever hear
good job, good. God, he just sounds so fucking dying.
Until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches.
Good callback.
Torches. And the ones he said, I think they're fine people on both sides. What American president would ever say, Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, singing the same man as Smith? This is the guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. The good things.
Good.
He said. This guy
come on, Joe.
President Trump.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it bunked all over the place. Every anchor has to every.
Dude, he looks so baffled, and for once it makes sense.
President Biden.
And debunk. It happened.
Okay.
Saw people
hold on, chat. Hold on. Take a hit of that. That's some good fucking copium right there. All right. I heard earlier the commentator saying what matters more is who clutches up the most in the last 80 minutes. Biden's kind of fucking, he's doing a bit better now. He's warmed up. Oh, it might be good.
Biden has to lock in or we are getting fucking tax cuts for the rich again.
Yes. Dude, they were talking about abortion and Trump was saying like, he was pretty much saying, I am responsible for Roe v. Wade getting overturned even though everyone liked it. And then Biden was like, immigration. Giving an example of like a murderer as a result of immigration, which I don't know the full story of, I'll say, but it was like truly just a fucking ginormous fumble. It was like, what? He is fucking self-reporting that he caused it, dude. Like, are you joking? Fuck me. Christ almighty.
Chemical cocktail, put it all in there.
Dude, get him on some fucking Vyvanse right now.
While black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, black families still earn far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely
Sorry,
to
his
die
face. He was like, black people still exist? Jesus Christ, Joe. Joe!
Gotta make sure
dude, his face looks like it's slowly melting.
Increase economic growth because more people coming in. There was no inflation when I became president. You know why?
Don't say there was no inflation when I became president. Don't fucking say that. Are you an idiot? Are you an idiot?
Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, because they're all fucking domestic abusers who can't own guns anymore. What are we saying here? Huh?
And the opportunity zones with
dude, it looks like he's just realized he's out of his depth. I feel like, honestly, this debate is bad for Biden. Of course, we can all agree on that, right? But I just don't think anyone cares. I don't think there's that many people who are still in the middle, and in the middle enough to fucking watch. So many people don't care about American politics anymore. They're just so disinterested that, like, I think this debate doesn't mean all that much. I don't know. I don't see it swaying many people in the middle because I don't know how many people in the middle there are.
Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
Yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
Ooh!
Right? The idea that they're going to, I've been proposing that everybody, they pay, the millionaires pay 1%. 1%. So no one I would not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000 after they
I'm starving. I got some fucking goldfish that I wasn't eating because I was locked in, but now I'm hungry. Joe, just scream into the microphone how he is a convicted felon. The first ever convicted felon president.
We say is a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy, and he's.
I think a good guy. Don't fucking say that about a hostage. You don't need to. You don't need to throw that "I think" in there.
You have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds.
Oh.
235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's what you're. Anyway,
your confusion is your thing. He kind of fumbled that there.
I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. You do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
They're talking about golf! Oh my god! Oh my god! This is so out of touch! They were debating about golf, dude. Do you know how horrible optics that is? To have a fucking debate about golf minutia in front of fucking hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people. Dude, they talked about golf. I can't get over that.
Then I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying.
Yes, you were. Shut the fuck up.
A nice location someplace. And again, no indictment can win.
He was like Kanye. Like the second he lost, he was like Trump 2024. The debates are for entertainment purposes. You just can't, and Bernie said this as well, you can't get out your full thoughts in a debate format. But when you're a fucking lethargic slug who's withering away because of salt dumped on him, like you really can't.
I ask anyone out there in the audience or anyone out watching this debate to child care.
Bring up Roe.
And give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden.
He doesn't mention Roe! Oh, God! I don't think it's Jover, but it is tough. It's tough. Yeah, that was harsh. I think now the normal Democrat, the normal loyal lib is also realizing that they're cooked. Biden's gonna die in the next 4 years. Straight up. He's going to be as fucking mentally decayed as Reagan by the end of it. Like, he can't last 4 years. He just can't. That brain will not last 4 years. To be clear, Trump's ain't much better, but it will last 4 years. That being said, it's Trump. That was tough. That was really tough.